everyone.
Whoa.
Hello?
Echo,
Marcus
echo,
and
echo, echo,
Echo.
echo.
Hello? Okay. Nope, nope, nope. It's one of those days, ladies. No, you did Emma Marina. I didn't do that one. You did that. I'm glad this is being recorded. Hello?
A lot of echoing.
It looks like you're in the show twice.
This one?
While we're waiting, Miss Liz, I got to show you something.
Okay.
So I went on the cruise, and I know you like Build-A-Bears. I want you to meet
Oh,
Captain Stu Bear.
oh my God, he's so adorable.
Of course, none of the young kids knew who Captain Stu Bean was, but he's Captain Stu Bear.
You should, you should see what I got at Comic Con.
Hello?
Hey, it's
No
Hi.
echo! Yay! Oh, why? Why? Oh, I'm glad they're going to cut this part. All right, let's start all over. Hello, everyone. We
Hi.
are, hello. We are the Matriarchs of Fandom, and today we're just going to discuss a con that we went earlier in the year. We went to Convivial in Williamsburg on February 28th through March 2nd. Um, so I just want to ask the ladies, this will be a really quick podcast tonight, just to ask them some questions about how they liked it, what they did, if they got any souvenirs, just some questions. And we're gonna have a short video of one of the ones that we took. Let's see. As I said earlier, it was Williamsburg, Virginia, and Miss Liz was there, and Lady Gray was there. We ended up doing two panels. We did one on John Williams and the other one on Disney silhouettes. Can you name this Disney film? Now, before we get to that, I want to ask Miss Liz, how did she like the con?
Oh, I had a good time. Uh, ate some food. Thoroughly enjoyed the panels. Got to see lots of friends. Pretty much that's all I did.
Okay, okay, I
I
agree.
didn't do anything else. I didn't,
Okay, okay. Lady Gray, what did you do there?
one of the things I really like about Convivial is a lot of cons recently have just been like vendors, 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 and more vendors, just way too much money. Whereas convivial, there's always something fun going on that doesn't cost you anything. You know, you pay your initial entrance fee, and there's panels, and there's music going on, and there's all kinds of stuff. And I had a blast. It's one of my favorite cons of the year to go to.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I do want to say hello to, we have a Star Wars person watching, and we have Calibus. So I do appreciate y'all watching us tonight. Miss Liz, did you get any souvenirs while you were there?
Come to think of it, I don't think I got anything. I did buy a couple of things for the kids, and I bought some fudge.
Okay. Well, what did you
That's
buy for
about
the
it.
kids? What did you buy for the kids?
Um, I don't know. I bought some stuff for the boys, and I can't really remember what I got them. I just went and got something for Alex and something for Liam and something for Jordan, and their general interests. And then I gave it to them. And I also bought them some fudge too.
Okay. Okay. I agree. I didn't really buy anything at Convivial. It just me personally, the last couple of years that I went to cons, I don't buy as much like I used to. I just don't have any room for it. You know, I'll have to get rid of something old to replace something new, and I like the old stuff where I have it. So I didn't really buy anything other than fudge, like Miss Liz did. Miss Gray, did you buy anything at Convivial?
Um, I actually bought a couple things. Like you, I don't buy that much because I mean, obviously, you see behind me, I don't have room for a whole lot more. But I did buy. I bought myself a new drinking water cup that was really cool, and then I bought one for my son because he's a big Gengar fan, and they had one there with Gengar on it. I see they had somebody there making selling homemade hair products and stuff. So I bought my husband some beard butter. Um, and of course the fudge. Yeah, I had to buy the fudge. Oh, and I bought a book from one of the authors there that looked really interesting. I haven't had a chance to read it yet though.
Okay,
So
okay. Now, did either of you ladies go to any panels? Now, I spend most of my time at the table, other than the two panels we did, so I didn't really had a really good opportunity to see any panels. But Miss Liz, did you go to any of the panels there?
I went. Of course, I did our two panels, and then I did the Disney sing along.
How was that?
It was fun. It would have been nicer if they had done it like on a Saturday instead of a Sunday morning, because a lot of people weren't either up yet or whatever. Because we had a very sparse crowd, but the people that we did have there were very enthusiastic. We definitely got some singing done, and then we had a lot of latecomers come in and whatnot during the time that we were there. But yeah, it would have been nice if they had done it like on a Saturday, and then we would have probably had more parents and kids. Because the rest of us were, us people that were alive Sunday morning.
Okay, okay. What about you, Lady Gray?
I know I did, but it's awful. I can't remember it. It was so long ago, and I'm like, I know I did. I know we went to see some of the music, and the music was really nice. And we just kind of wandered around in and out of like panels and some of the non-vendor booths where they had people were just like promoting like clubs and stuff like that. But I don't remember. I remember art panels, of course, but
Hmm.
I don't
Hmm.
know. I I don't know. Maybe I'm getting
Hey,
senile.
Miss Vonda, I just remembered one we went to, the one
Yeah.
about Superman.
Oh, true,
Yeah,
true.
we
I
did
went to
see,
that one.
but that was I kind of consider that one of our panels, but
Yeah.
I
What
went
did
to
you like?
that.
What did you like about that panel then, Miss Liz?
Oh, I love the Superman panel because we covered all the Supermans over the years, and it was well attended, and everybody that participated was good, and I thought it was extremely informative, and I enjoyed it.
Okay. Okay. Now, what did y'all think about the location where Convivio was located? I like the idea that the parking was at the hotel. Mark and I just got back from GalaxyCon Richmond, which we'll talk about that at a later date. And there, it was a much larger con compared to Convivial. But I like the idea that I could come and go as we please to get food, if I wanted to do some shopping. So the idea that is at a smaller venue, the hotel that we in, we didn't have to worry about um, food. I can just leave. I enjoy that. Do you agree with me, Miss Liz, about the location?
I like the hotel. I just wish we had more vendor trucks out there to get food because the ones that did show up ran out.
Oh,
So quite a few people who were trying to get stuff didn't get stuff, and so they didn't handle the trucks very well at all. They really need to organize that a little bit better. And it would have been nice if they had the breakfast, you know, at the hotel, but after that there was nothing,
yeah.
unless you ate it at the trucks, and the trucks were sparse, and I don't think they were anticipating the amount of people they were going to have to feed, and there was shortages. Let's put it that way.
What kind of trucks was out there? Because I never made it out there.
They had a barbecue. They had a Native American uh, cuisine, uh, and then there was a hot dog truck. There
There
was a
was a Tex-Mex one as well.
huh?
There was a Tex-Mex one as well that was
Yeah,
really
there was a
good. They
Tex
were really good.
too.
Oh, so what did you get there, Miss Gray?
Like a loaded nachos type thing. It was really good. And I got loaded nachos, and then I got a like a cheese quesadilla. They were both really good. My husband got like a big burrito that was like fully loaded, and it was like huge. And he said it was really good. That was like Friday night though. That was early on before they started running out of stuff. But
Okay. Did
yeah,
you
I agree with Miss Liz. It was kind of hard with the food not being on site. But
mm, did you think the prices at the food truck was pretty reasonable?
Yeah,
yeah,
they weren't bad at all.
yeah.
I did enjoy the burrito and the quesadilla, and and then we tried to get some kind of the night that we ran out. They ran out of stuff, which I can't remember whether it was Saturday night. I think it was Saturday night, and I can't remember what it was. It was supposed to be some big taco type thing, but it was supposed to have tomatoes and lettuce and all this other stuff. And they ran out of ingredients.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But
Hmm.
what little I did get was good.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Now, Lady Gray, what would you say is your most memorable from Convivial? What do you remember? And if you had to, go to work tomorrow and tell your coworkers, "Hey, I did this and I thought this was neat," what would that idea be?
Um, I like the cosplay, all the different cosplayers there. It was really cool. If you love to watch, see all the different people in the costumes and stuff, if that's a big thing to you, which it is to me, just all the people, the cosplays. One of the things about Convivial is a lot. If you go to a regular Comic Con, they're kind of traditional cosplay. You got your Marvel characters and your Star Wars characters and whatnot. At Convivial, a lot of the characters were like people's own inventions, and that was kind of cool to see how people express themselves. That was really neat. And I liked how my cosplay came out, so I was pleased with that too. I was my background picture for a while.
What did you dress up as? Let
I was
everybody know.
I was a Death Eater from Harry Potter. And
Okay.
deaths are
Okay.
very hard to see in. I don't know how they could see in them because I had these little hole slits that I could see out of. It was horrible.
Well, that's different, like you said. I've seen Harry Potter ones and Star Wars, Star Trek. So it's really cool that, like you said, I never thought about it that way. Different types of cosplaying. So that's really cool.
Yep.
Same question to you, Miss Liz. What is your most memorable occasion there? And did you dress up?
Yes, I did Professor McGonagall, and I think that's the only thing I did because the other one was just different types, different sci-fi shirts. But mostly, I did Professor McGonagall, and then the thing I enjoyed most was our panels,
Okay.
both of
All right. Nice. Nice. Um, I don't remember. I know I dressed up, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember what I dressed up as. I'm sure one of them was probably my Star Trek one, and
You were like an Egyptian goddess.
oh, I was
You looked
Cleopatra.
really
Okay,
good.
there you go. There you
Yeah,
go. Ooh, I'm glad somebody remembered that because
yeah,
I
you
did
looked
not.
really good.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we did do two panels there. We did one on John Williams, and we can't show it on the air because it was music, but we played a couple of music from John Williams. He did Superman, he did E.T., the Olympic theme song, and people just sat down and just talked about what they liked about John Williams. I know earlier last year we did a podcast on the music of different movies. And I know when I, was doing the research for that panel, I just saw his name pop up over and over and over again. And I was surprised how many times I saw that. Surprised that how many times in my life that I've heard this man's music and never knew it was the same guy across the board. From um, movies from the 60s and 70s. I think he did A Towering Inferno to the Harry Potter and Jaws. It was just great music. Miss Liz, why don't you tell us what did you like about that panel that we did on John Williams?
Well, because we could have probably delved into John Williams for even longer than we did because we had a really good response from the crowd. Uh, it was really cool to see all the stuff he has done over the years, and it was nice to honor a man who has been instrumental in many, 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 many movies. And, I mean, these movies would not be as good as they were if it weren't for the music that John Williams did.
Agreed. Agreed. Lady Gray?
I think the thing about John Williams is his music is just so it's iconic. It hits you right in the feels. So as soon as you hear that Jaws theme song, that bum bum bum, you're instantly, oh my god, where's the shark? Or you hear Harry Potter's theme song, you know something magical is going to happen, and it puts you back in that feeling you had when you first saw that movie. It just his music is like magical, the way it kind of transports you like that. And I don't know. I loved it, and it was just a night full of good feelings when we did the panel because it was like, oh, I remember how I felt when I saw that, and I remember how I felt when I heard that, and it was lots of fun.
Definitely, definitely. Look like we do have a question, and I'm going to let Miss Liz answer the first part. It says, as a person who's never been, what would you recommend is 100% see or experience at Convivio? Miss Liz, I would like for you to answer that question. Just that top one.
Um, I would definitely go and do panels, and then I would definitely cosplay, and hopefully, you know, get to socialize with people. And then if you're into, like trivial games or something like that, anything that would be considered fun, I would do it. But as far as that's concerned, yes, I would definitely come cosplay. Definitely, that's half the fun is getting dressed up and then going to different panels that would be in your genre of interest.
Great, great,
And
great.
maybe go to a couple that you didn't know that you would learn all kinds of new things that you didn't know before.
Great, great answer. I know Star Wars leader actually mentioned meet old friends, and I agree. I haven't seen y'all actually in person in a while, so is I consider y'all old friends. I mean, not old friends, because we're not old. I'm not old, but good
Speak for
friends and coming
yourself.
together. Age is nothing but a number, Miss Liz. But at the same time, I'm gonna say meet new friends. There were some people there. I think her name was Miss Deborah. She wrote a book and she was at our table right next to us. And I talked to them through the whole time we was at Convivial, where to the point I have their card. Her husband was there. I said I'm gonna start watching Dollhouse because I've never seen it, and I was gonna, Facebook them to let them know, how I liked it. So meeting old friends and meeting new friends is one of the great things I like about Convivia and actually AnyCon. Um, Lady Gray, I'm going to have you answer the second part of it. Is what would there be something to avoid, or would you consider the bottom line of your list to see?
Um, I would say, first of all, you need to avoid having a closed mind. Um, and you need to realize that everything is not for everybody. And so if you go into one panel and you don't like what they're talking about, there's a bunch of others. So avoid being locked into your preconceived notions. Um, which is not quite the answer to his question, but there's really nothing bad per se. But everything is also not everybody's cup of tea. Some of the music was a little for me, but other people really enjoyed it, so I wouldn't yuck somebody else's yum. You know, and some of the panels were just kind of for me, but some of the panels were amazing. So there's so much there you can find something. So avoid getting stuck and saying, "Oh, this is not for me," and leaving.
Actually, I really like that. I kind of experienced that this past weekend at Richmond Galaxy Con. There's a few panels that Mark and I went. We sat through the whole thing, and I'm going to be honest. There's a few panels that after we listened to what they were talking about, we kind of got up and leave. But that's part of the experience as going to Convivio or any of the other, conventions in the area or anywhere you've gone, and definitely over the years, there has been panels that I would have never saw if it wasn't at any of these conventions. So you're right, that open mindedness. And you kind of have to have that going to conventions anyway, just seeing, how they dress, how they talk. I do agree, if you are a closed minded person, you might not like it. So, but usually I've noticed certain conventions has a little bit of something for everybody. Let's see. So I do want to show real fast. We did take time to introduce yourself also. Yes. Um, I agree. Um, I don't, yeah. Oh, my computer is doing its thing. We're going to go ahead and show like a small clip on our second panel we did, which was named that Disney movie. And kind of what we did was I had pictures of a couple of Disney movies and a couple of scenes, and I had the audience name them. Well, of course, the three of us had the answers, so I thought that was fun. Let's see if we can go ahead and show that clip. Hopefully, maybe we're just waiting that to be. Let's There we go. There we go.
Am I in the way?
So the
So
picture
the
we
picture we
showed
showed
before
before
this
this
was
was
of
of
Lion
Lion
King,
King,
and
and
then we
then
was
we was
able
able
to
to
see
see
the
the
answer. Can I have
can I
Miss
have Miss
Gray, since
Gray since
I
I
have
have
an
an
extra
extra
shot,
shot,
she
so
can
she
see the
can see
next
the next
slide?
slide?
See,
See,
I
I
don't know that
don't know that
I
I
can
can
see it
see
very
it very
well.
well. The sisters. A new lady came out version of this earlier last year. A
Now,
musical.
I do want
I
to
do
say,
want to
since
say,
it was
since
a
it was a
Disney
Disney
panel,
panel,
all wore
all wore
Disney
Disney
gears.
gears. Descendants. No, ma'am.
Maleficent.
Was that
Was
the
that the
one?
one? I'm sorry?
Maleficent.
No.
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 Was that
Was that
Hocus
the
Pocus?
That's not Angelina.
Oh.
They're both witches.
I gotta guess, but I'm not gonna say.
There's a road. I just said. There's a road.
Not wicked? No.
It's not
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like
it
the
looks like the
video
video,
Yeah, it's similar to the
the
same
pictures
thing.
are
the
kind of
pictures are kind
far,
of far.
so you might have to
So
see
you
if
might
we
have
can
to see if
actually
we can
do
actually
this
do this
panel one
panel
night,
one night,
and we might be able to
and we
see the
might be
picture
able to
just
see
a
the
little
picture
bit
just a
better.
little bit
Yeah,
better.
because you can't really see the video.
Agreed, agreed.
Agreed, agreed.
Okay, well,
Okay, well,
next
That was
year's
next
that was
year's
date
that
for
panel
Convivial,
could have gone a lot
not
longer. It was that popular.
yes, next year's date for Convivial hasn't been released yet. I did already get my ticket. Miss Liz, would you go again next year?
What, for Convival?
Yes.
Yes.
Lady Gray, would you?
Absolutely. This was the first one my husband came to with me, and he had a really good time too. So, and he's not kind of your traditional nerd so much. Usually at Comic Cons, after about 2 hours, he's bored, and he thoroughly enjoyed this one because it was just so much to see and do. So, I mean, that's a big recommendation for him. That he really was like, "When's next year's?" So
Good, good. Do your husband usually go to conventions or no?
he'll go. We'll go for a couple hours, and then he's usually a very serious person. So usually after a couple hours he's ready to go. Um, and this one, it really held his interest because of all the panels and all the different people there and the music and everything. He thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay, good. Hopefully he'll be able to join us again next year.
Yeah, he hopes to.
Good, good. Okay, looks like we are at our time for today. I want to thank everyone for listening, watching it in replay. I know we haven't been around. It's been about a month and a half or so since we did our last show, but we're back. And does anybody got anything else to say before we end tonight? Nope, nope.
Stay geeky.
Okay, great. Well, stay geeky, y'all.
Stay
Good night,
geeky.
and we'll see you in 2 weeks.